If you love Canada and you've always wished to immigrate to Canada, then this video is for you, especially our nurses and healthcare workers. You've heard about a lot of programs, the caregiver pilot and all those caregiving jobs route, but you don't know how to go about it. The truth is that before you can get a job in Canada, you need a license. A lot of people have asked me about the Canada Caregiver Pilot Program, but I always smile because you cannot get a job without a license. Even if you are a nurse back in Africa or wherever you are from, and you don't have the Canadian license, it's going to be really hard for you to enter into the job market here. When it comes to looking for a job in Canada, it's about three things. You have to understand the job market here. You have to know that is your occupation part of the high in demand jobs? If yes, then you have to go to the next step about standing out. You need to stand out as a job seeker because there are actually people here in Canada who are not getting jobs. So why would they employ you that you are not even here in Canada and you don't have the documents? It doesn't even make sense, right? So for you to get a job whilst you are not in Canada and they have to give you documentation, it means one, you should have a high in demand skill. Two, you should also stand out. Whatever you are doing, there should be something unique about you that will let them employ you. And that's why I'm doing this video. In this video, I'll be teaching the healthcare profession, especially nurses and care aides and other people who are in the healthcare field, how they can get licensed and get caregiver jobs and other related jobs here in Canada, even when you are not here or from outside Canada. Many people ask me about the caregiver program, and I always ask them, what is your qualification? Because you will need a job offer to be successful in this pilot program, but you don't have a license yet. So I always tell my followers that get your Canadian license. That is always the first step. No matter where you are, no matter your occupation, the first step is getting the Canadian certification or license. That is a huge step for you to get a job in Canada. In this video, I'm targeting the healthcare workers. Those who would like to do caregiving jobs, nurse assistant or nurse aide. Here in Canada, they call them healthcare aide. And so I'll be getting into the website and giving you the step-by-step tutorial to get licensed or registered as a healthcare aide in Canada, even if you are out of Canada. Remember that Canada has 13 provinces and territories, and each of them have their own programs. Usually, I always use BC, Alberta, and even Nova Scotia as my example. And in this video, I'll be using Alberta to show you the step-by-step tutorial on how you can get registered as a healthcare assistant here in Canada. And that will be a first step if you are looking for a job offer from Canada, even if you are not here in Canada. Now, let's go into the tutorials. So the first thing we are going to do is to go into the Google browser, right? So google.com, okay? And then we can search HCA, which is the healthcare aide, Alberta, right? Internationally trained, that's there. So let's see what we have. So this is a substantial equivalence assessment. And when you look at the website, it talks about albertahcadirectory.com, okay? albertahcadirectory.com. So it says Alberta Healthcare Aide Directory. So usually those who are registered in Alberta, their names are in that directory. So as an internationally educated nurse or care aide, you want to get into that directory. That is what this thing is talking about. And it actually says that, look, it says evaluation of education of healthcare providers who did not graduate from an approved healthcare aid program, right? So those who did not graduate from Alberta's program, this is what is for you. And it tells you who are the eligible applicant for this directory. It says graduate of healthcare program outside of province of Alberta. So sometimes you may even have educated do your healthcare program in Canada but not in Alberta. These people will also do that. And then it says internationally educated nurses. So the nurses who are saying that their license RN or LPN license is a lot and stressful, you can attempt the healthcare aid because it's a good way to enter into the system, right? And then it says individuals with education as personal support worker, continuing care assistant, nurse, or so like it's also saying others who have been in the healthcare industry. Sometimes, you know, you might not be a nurse, but you've done other home care jobs or personal support workers or healthcare related. You have direct patient care experience. So these people can also attempt this kind of assessments to be added to the registry of the healthcare aid in Alberta. So this is how it goes. So it tells you what you have to do. So this is the information sheet. So this is for out of province stroke international applicants. So this is, my viewers are mostly international applicants. So we can look at the information sheet. I like this kind of information sheets because it tells you the step by step, you know, and they kind of make it even like artistic. They draw, and then, you know, from here you do this, from there you do that. And one thing to think about it, they know that they need international foreign trained healthcare assistant. That's why they always give opportunities for people to transfer their credential. They know that they need people from outside of Canada to come in. So they always make things easy for you guys. So try and take advantage of these things and never give up with your Canadian dream, no matter what your profession is. So we can zoom this up and see what is in there. Step 1 is enrollment. So enroll on the Alberta Healthcare Aid, and you see it's a link. So always, even with this, you just click on it, it takes you to the link. So you enroll on the directory, right? Then the step 2 is to pay the fees. I know this kind of processes can be expensive if you are not here, but I feel it's a good investment, okay? Because when you think of working here in Canada, the opportunities here are enormous. So it is worth going for making such kind of investment. So you pay the fee for the assessment, right? Let's go to the next step. Then it talks about transcripts. So it said contact your post-secondary and they can email your transcripts to the HCA directory. 2, you can also get the curriculum. So wherever school you attended, mostly every school uses a curriculum to teach. So you can email a copy of that curriculum your school used to the team HCA directory there. And then your proof of English language, right? Which we all know about the different types. IELT, they have different types, right? Then we can go through that. And you just email, look, they have their email there. So once you get this, you email it. And then step 4, confirm that you have successfully completed all the 3 requirements up. So once you've done all the 3, you confirm. And then they said it takes 12 weeks, which is about 3 months, for everything to be done. And they said once your assessment is complete, you receive a decision letter with the next. So if it is successful, I guess you'll just be entered into the registry and you are now a licensed healthcare aide. But if it's not possible, then they would give you the next steps you would have to follow to go ahead with it. These are questions that other people are asking. So it's always good to read all these questions because these are frequently asked questions. So you can always go through this in case you feel you will need more elaboration. Now, this is for Alberta. We can look at other provinces and see whether they also have this opportunity for people who would want to move there. I'm in BC and I love BC, so let's go into BC. We can use the same thing. You can always Google, you know. Google is always there for us. So you can say BC HCA, right? International trained. Let's see what shows up there. So it's the first thing that pop up, international educator healthcare professional. So this is BC. If you would watch most of my videos, I give you the template so that you just try it on your own, because Canada is big, huge. The provinces are and territories are 13. So imagine doing this for each of them and looking. Some might even have cheaper fees, some might even have lesser requirements. So whatever I'm teaching you now, do it for each province before you select which one you want to go for. Don't just do Alberta or BC because I did it. Just take your time. This takes a lot of time to figure out, but it's worth it to look at each province and look into their requirements, how much, what can it be transferred to, because some certificates, some of the license you cannot transfer to a different province. So you have to read each of them's requirements and then before you decide which one you want to go for. So let's try BC, okay? So here, the step 1, it says submit an online application. And under that, it tells they'll need the proof of training from your educational institution. So for nurses, it says, as an internationally trained healthcare professional, you will need to provide information about your healthcare education and training. Supply the following: your certificate, diploma, or degree, and then your official transcripts. Then B, English language, which I'm sure we mostly know about the IELTS and other types of English language tests. So you prove that English is your first language. It even says upload a language proficiency test exemption form. So for this applies to most of the people who first language is English. Most countries, I think Nigeria, Ghana, most of us have that exemptions. So you might be exempted if you schooled in English, and of course if you were educated in English and you've been able to pass your school education or have a bachelor's from an English program, you might be exempted. So you could fill this form to be exempted from the English language test. And then we go to the International Credential Evaluation Services, okay? Yeah, so it even tells you how to obtain the evaluation, you know, and they have different types of, we have the WES, we have the IQAS, so there are other NNAS, right? All these are credential evaluation services you can use. And this is for those who have a change of name or something, they would also use that. Now, once you are done with this, the step 2 is the HCA competency assessment. It says within 10 business, the registry will contact you regarding within 10 business days. So this have even given you timelines, right? Which is a good thing, so that you will not be thinking about what is going on. Then once they've gone through your documents and they think you are eligible, then they said qualified applicants will be provided with a competency referral consent form to complete, right? So once you've completed that form and you've sent back to them, then they'll give you a performance report within 60 days, okay? And then the last one said, depending on your results, you may be required to complete remedial education to demonstrate to address undemonstrated competencies prior to registration, right? So I think based on the assessment and everything, if you qualify, they'll just register you. But if you did not, they'll tell you, okay, you did not do well in this area, so these are the next steps you would have to follow. Guys, Canada immigration dream is a possible one. Each province have made the way for you to come there. They've showed you where to go, how to get this, and it's always step by step. And if you are successful, they tell you this is it. If you are not, they also give you options. So I always encourage people to never give up. So once you go through the requirement and you think, wow, you are eligible, you want to go ahead, you just go apply as an international. Look, and it tells you, and right there you start the process. It's as easy as that, guys. So you just fill in, then you go to the next process, then that is it. Let's try another province. Let's go to Nova Scotia. So it's the same process. You just keep doing what I'm doing for all the other provinces. So we can say Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia, HCA, internationally trained. So guys, when it comes to Nova Scotia, they are using a different name. So Nova Scotia is the CCA. So these are the things about the differences. Sometimes Googling it, it's a bit hard, By searching, you learn and discover new things. So for Nova Scotia, they call it the CCA. So we can do Nova Scotia CCA, Internationally Trained Registry. And let's see the frequently asked questions, okay? Sometimes you get the answers from these other tabs. So let's look at this. So the FAQ side usually helps you to understand. So it tells you what the CCAs are, because other provinces call it HCA, but these people are calling it CCA. So it can be a bit tricky to even find them. Who needs to register? And it tells certified continuing care assistant, right? So it's about the same thing. They call it differently. So let's see. This is where we are interested in. Internationally educated nurses may be granted equivalency and hired as a CCA where the National Nursing Assessment Service, which is the NNAS advisory report, indicates the individual is comparable or somewhat comparable to the Canadian RN or LPN. If your NNAS is still in progress, you may be hired under the conditional hire clause, guys. So this is what I'm talking about. So sometimes you're a nurse, but your credential is still under assessment, right? But it's telling you that you can get a conditional job whilst you are as a CCA, whilst your nursing license is still under review or still going through the whole process. That's why I always say you have no excuse for not getting a job, or because they have made it clear that you may be hired. You get a conditional hire whilst you are waiting for all that. So it goes on to explain the conditional hire. It says it includes CCAs in training, IEN without NNAS reports. You get that? So this is internationally educated nurses without NNAS report. Maybe you are still on your evaluations. You could get a conditional hire. You could get a job even whilst waiting for your assessment. But you need to go through the CCA and get some kind of license or provisional license before you can get this conditional hired job. So guys, this is what we are talking about here. Is there a cost for CCAs to register? We can also look at the no to register new. It says there is no cost. That's what it says here, right? What information will I need to provide when I want to register? Look, it talks about everything you need. I'm surprised there is no cost to CCA to register or renew their registration annually. Wow, that is interesting one. So you see, like for Alberta, they are charging a fee, but here they said there is no cost. So once you are ready, here, register here. Then you start the processing. And the good thing here, they also have a video how to renew or how to sign up. They have documents to show you what to do, right? Conditional high. So they have all these documents to just guide you on how you should go about this. I hope you've learned something from this video, guys. I am on a journey to help you immigrate to Canada successfully. Note that the Canada immigration takes a lot of research, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and even some kind of investment to be successful. But I bet you every step of the process is worth it. Canada still need workers, but you need to get the right license. You need to go to the right place to find it. Don't let anybody deceive you and take your money that they're going to find a job for you. The truth is that you just need your computer, get time, sit online, listen to my strategies, and just go for it. And that is your surest way of immigrating to Canada with a peace of mind. For those who don't know, I'm a PR here in Canada. I moved from the USA to Canada on a work permit, and I became a PR in 6 months. And I'm on a journey to help others to do same. No matter your field of profession, I'm ready to research and give you the right information for you to also immigrate to Canada. My name is Nurse Efia Christie, and thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for my subsequent videos of more other pathways to immigrate to Canada. Thank you.